Oh! No, no, no!
Hello everybody, this is a Lamley unboxing, showcase preview, call it what you want. Brand new Hot Wheels RC Nissan Skyline GTR R32 Pandem. And if you're not familiar with this at all or what it even is, well, join the crowd because I was one of those until just a few days ago. If you watched the sneak peeks presentation that the Hot Wheels team did, Gary Cody got up and talked about this, a Diecast RC model. It was new to me. I guess those that were at Legends in El Segundo that same day, I wasn't able to because I was filming sneak peeks. They saw a little showcase of this model and oh my goodness, it just created so much intrigue. I know Gary from his days at Matchbox. He's on the innovation team now. He does a lot of different products, a lot of cool products. And we had breakfast the next day. He handed this off and he said, showcase it. And that is what I'm going to do. So we'll do the unboxing portion of it right now. Then we will see what it does. So, all right, here is the box. It's pretty big, as you can tell. What's a standard Hot Wheels model? There it is for comparison. We'll be referring to that model here in just a second. So it is a very big box. The reason? Well, you'll see in just a second. Here is all of this stuff. You can see all of those that have participated in this. Like I said, this is an RC car. Mattel Creations, by the way, this will be on sale. I'll put the details down below of the sale date. If I don't have a link, I'll put it up later. But this will be hitting Mattel Creations. I hear that the price is 50 bucks. You'll see why here in just a second. Here is the box. Before I lose this portion of it, let me just pick this up and you can see, well, freeze that if you want to. So you can see all of that. Little history of the R32. Box is really, really cool, by the way. Then you've got the model, which we'll get to that in just a second. You've got the controller. We'll open that in a second. There's a little charge cord for the model itself. We've got a little instruction manual. Probably gives you details. I don't need to bore you with all of that stuff, but I might be referring to this because I am not an RC guy. But from what I understand, this thing does some amazing stuff. I might need to snag a battery too. So that goes in there. Actually, I might hold that out for my own reference. This goes in here. Let's talk about the model itself for a second. The packaging by itself is pretty rad, with or without the RC. The idea of this model, just to be very quick, is that what Gary and his team wanted to do was create an RC car that kind of went through the direction of diecast collectors as opposed to just RC enthusiasts, and so remote control enthusiasts. So this is a fully die-cast model, and by itself, even without any of its function, it's a fabulous die-cast model, one that I could just put right here on my shelf with all of my other Hot Wheels premium models. This would be outside of, you know, it has to have a plastic chassis for all of its function, but die-cast body, real rider tires, it rolls like just any other Hot Wheels would roll, and on its own. And in fact, you can see that this model is based on, by the way, the packaging. I don't even show you that. Look at that. Look at the back side of it. Real thick cardboard. It's really awesome. The model itself is based on a Hot Wheels premium model. If you remember, this is the Pandem model from, what was it, Modern Classics last year. I think Rob Mathis did this design. And you can see while there are some slight modifications for the RC car, it's pretty much the same thing. You've got, obviously, the Pandem kit on it, taillights, plastic spoiler, wheels. There's the 5 spokes. In fact, this one is just recently released in Ronin Run, and if you look at the wheels, they're very similar. Not exact, of course, but they are very, very similar. This one has an interior. This one does not. They Gary even said they wanted to try and figure out how to do an interior, but with all the guts that they need for this car, it's all stuffed in there, so of course they don't have one. I don't think many people will complain about that, especially after you see what this car does. But yeah, it's pretty much the Pandem R32. Put it on a shelf and you've got yourself a very cool diecast car. In fact, I looked at this and the deco is so similar to that Toyo Tires version that was done for Modern Classics that this is almost like a variant on the Chase, you know, with the ghost deco that they did for the Chase last year. It's literally exactly the same, which is kind of cool. So anyway, so you got that family of R32s. That one joins it as an RC car. I guess we just have to see what this thing can do. All right, before we pair this car to the controller, I'm just going to switch it on and you're going to see how cool this is. There's the charger. Here is the power button. And first thing, when I hit the power button, there's your lights. There's your tail lights. And guess what? There's your underglow. And notice how it switches. I think, and we'll get to this with the controller, but you can switch the underglow to all kinds of, you're seeing all the different colors switch, and you can actually switch it to the one you want. It will stay there. But right now, while it's waiting to be paired, isn't that just the coolest? In fact, I'm sure, yeah, you can see the underglow. I know I'm not close. We'll get all this shown off once we get it paired, but you can see it, well, here. I mean, check that out. That is just so cool. So cool. We'll get to all this function a little bit, but already now we'll just go one by one. You start as just a standard cool Pandem R32 that you can put on your shelf. Now you've got a cool R32 Pandem that you can basically put on your shelf with working headlights, tail lights, and underglow. And now we move to the remote control portion of the car. All right, let's pull out the controller. Charging cord we don't need yet. We'll just leave that there. See if we can get this thing out. All right, batteries installed. Now, I will say this right now. Make fun of me all you want. I have never, even as a little kid, I did not play with RC vehicles. I was more into Hot Wheels. I was more into Matchbox. But I am so excited to have a Hot Wheels that does this. A real Hot Wheels that is a remote control. And I might drive this right off. This is one of the reasons I'm filming in my studio, because this is carpet. If I film this outside, this would be destroyed within 4 seconds. So just bear with me. Turn it on. Maybe I'm supposed to turn on the car first. So there we go. Turn on the car. As a matter of fact, give ourselves a little bit of space. All right. Car on. Remote control on. Oh yeah. I think I need to check. Right. This is the alignment, right? So has to run in a straight line. I believe. Yep. The wheels turn. Now, from what I understand, I got to figure out how to do the glow. So I think what we can do, so this is what I think from what I understand, and I'm kind of guessing here. Obviously, this is the throttle. Here, let me put this up just a little bit so we can see this. This is the throttle. This is the light button, so I think it off, on, and I think we can switch to the underglow that we want. Oh, look at that. There's red, yellow, blue, purple, off. Let's go with that red. I kind of like that red. Yeah, that shows up pretty good. Tail lights on. I'm assuming too, let's see. Oh, that's kind of a rainbow. Oh yeah, that's just rainbow. And then off. I think the taillights are always on and the headlights are always on. Maybe there's a way to turn them off, but I don't care if they're on. I'm going back to that. I don't want teal. I think I like the teal better. All right, yeah, let's go with teal. And then this button is the speed button. I believe from what I understood, there's a desktop mode and a like more throttle mode. So, oh, did you see that? Watch when you press it. Switches the mode. So now I got to make sure I know what to do before I shoot it right off of the desk. All right, I've been fooling around with this just for a little bit, and there's a lot to discover, but just for the sake of this video, let me turn off a couple of my lights so you can kind of get a sense for what this thing does. So you have obviously the underglow. Then if I turn the wheels, you get a right turn signal. I can do it like this so you can see the wheels. There's your left turn signal, your right turn signal. I believe if you put it into reverse, so here, we'll do this. You get reverse lights. And I believe the headlights are always going. You can always change the underglow. And the other thing is, and I will just show you this way. Well, I'll put it right here. I've got it in desktop mode, so when you accelerate, you don't totally lose control. That is not a full acceleration. Here's a full acceleration. Well, I'm still 2 gun shy. That's desktop mode. I'll even turn it here. Now, just real quickly, if I switch it to, I don't know, speed mode, normal mode, it's a whole lot different. And I'm 2 gun shy to do it. It's way too fast. Oh, and look at that. I didn't even notice that when I'm turning. All right, let's get the lights back on. Is this not the coolest? All right, I am just going to have myself some fun. All right, but first I got to switch the mode. I'm just so dumb here. This is awesome. This is so cool. A fully die-cast model. That is a fully functioning RC car. Now, I saw someone ask some questions when we put it up on Instagram about some of the technical elements of this car. Gary answered it. Maybe I'll put it in the notes. And maybe if I can have a little interview with Gary one of these days, maybe the next time I'm at Mattel or something like that, we'll have him talk about this. Because this is the first of, I think there's, well, I don't want to say anything I'm not supposed to, but there are more coming. I don't want to say how many. I don't want to say what they are, but there are more coming and there are more in development. This is the first one. Like I said, on Mattel Creations, $50. I think it is worth every penny. I am so excited, and I probably will buy another one because I am petrified of wrecking this one, which I probably will do. But oh my gosh, I am just in love. You guys tell me what you think. I'm so into this. What a very cool product. I'll just stop talking. You guys saw what it does. I don't have to talk about anything else. This thing is so cool. Gary, thank you for this. Hot Wheels, I think you've got a major winner. You guys tell me what you think in the comments. I know they're going to read them. I know Gary will read them. This thing is amazing. Thanks, everybody. Bye.